Hi YouTube, Roy Marko with Marko Custom Build Models coming to you today with a 1967 Plymouth GTX Hemi, fully assembled, minus a couple little things. This was for the 24-hour build competition on Facebook, and just finished up actually today. It started noon Saturday, went till noon Sunday. I worked till about 4 p.m. and then was just so tired I had to go to sleep. I woke up at 9, gave me 3 hours to kind of finish it up in the morning. And I did not quite finish. I had everything done except all the trim that you see, the chrome on the wheel wells. I had this trim on. I didn't have the door handles chromed. I didn't have the trim around the side glass. I just had the windows in. Basically just was putting the car together and about to put the grille in and back bumper on when the time ran out. So you can see that I'm going to do another video that sort of shows the process and things I did to get here. So this is just sort of what I had envisioned to actually get finished for the 24-hour build. I was hoping to do spark plug wires, but that didn't happen, and that's okay. It doesn't have to get them. It was sort of a bonus. So basically, this is the car in orange. I did the high beams in orange. I know they're high beam headlights, not signal lights. There's a car in the local area here that goes to car shows, and he's got a Hemi orange color. I think it's a 67 as well, with the same sort of orange high beam headlights, and it just sticks out in my mind with the black stock Steelies. I just love this look. If I could own a car like this, I definitely would. So I just wanted to point out that the hood scoop on this car is a 1964 Dodge hood scoop from a Lindbergh kit, one of the race car kits. The wheels are from the 1978 Dodge Monaco police car kit, the new release, the California Highway Patrol by MPC. The wheel backs are out of a 1968 Plymouth Roadrunner by AMT model kit. And the tires came out of something recently that has the pad printed Goodyear radial GT tires. They were a backup plan. The first tire I wanted to use was these aftermarket red lines that I had, and they're kind of made out of silicone. They're not like the same kind of material you'd get in a model kit, but it has a removable red wall, as you can see here. And the red wall is flexible, but it doesn't really stretch. And when I went to go apply this tire, because I glued the wheels to the wheel backs and didn't sort of put them together after, when I went to go stretch these tires on, the red wall would pop out and I had no way of getting it back in. So I had to ditch the idea of the red walls, which I really wanted to have on this model, for white lettering. But white lettering is the second best thing to red walls in the 60s, so I'm happy with this. Very happy the way the car turned out. Black interior. I'll talk about some of the pieces I did not use in this model and what I replaced them with. Obviously, here's the tray of parts that did not get used. I'm just going to slide this over here a little bit. First off, wheels and tires. Did not use them. I'm not a real fan of these wheels. They're a nice wheel. I de-chromed them because I de-chromed the entire tree, so the front bumpers, the grill, the back bumper, the gas cap, the everything that was chrome got de-chromed. The door handles, all that. And then the these 500 wheels are called. They're basically, I think in Revell monogram, they feel like they're too big of a wheel for the car. And I'm a real fan of Steelies. Everything I build has to have Steelies. So these were automatically out the door. Then the rear windows I didn't put in because it's a hard top. I'm displaying the car with all the windows down, so I did not put those in. Also saves some time and detail work, but I really would have built it with the windows down anyway. The center console did not make it in the car because I like the car without the center console. I've always liked bucket seats. I mean, I like a bench seat actually, but if it's a 4-gear car, I like the buckets with the floor coming, with the shifter coming right out of the floor. So to me, that's what I wanted to build. I didn't use the side scoops because in 1967 these side scoops were non-functional. 68 they had a fiberglass piece that went underneath the hood, and fed into the air cleaner. So because they weren't functional, I wanted to make a functional hood scoop on the car, so the side scoops did not go on. Also ditching the factory air cleaner for some velocity stacks, some shorties out of the 68 Hemi Dart kit. And the windshield washer jug, which I had actually done a okay job painting. I feel like it turned out okay. It was painted transparent blue on the inside. This was a clear piece, but they're not fully transparent, so I sprayed white on the outside. It looks pretty good, except I just felt like the paint was rubbing off on corners from handling it, and it kind of looks clumsy under the hood, so you know what? It didn't go on. Fan shroud did not make it on because the way I assembled the model, I had the radiator glued into the rad support into the body before the car got assembled. With the fan there, if this rad support, if the fan shroud was on the radiator and the rad support, I wouldn't be able to slide the car together vertically. What I could have done is cut the bottom out, and you wouldn't see it, so when it came together, the fan would clear the support. But a lot of these cars, you know, not all of them, especially if people have done some aftermarket work, don't always have a fan shroud. So, you know what? It didn't make it on the model. Another thing didn't make it on the model were the heater hoses. I wanted to put these on. What I found was that the alignment wasn't quite good, and I didn't have enough time to fiddle with them. And after getting the car together and everything's painted, everything's still wet. It's very hard to handle this model right now because, you know, things are still tacky here and there, so you don't want to touch and hold it for very long, which is why I'm not really getting into holding this right now to show you. But I will pop the hood off, show you under the hood. I also have some still photos, and I'm going to show you underneath this model what I did for the paint. And the ignition coil I did not get on the model because I did not wire the car, and just having the coil sitting there by itself just seemed like another piece of plastic. Didn't happen. So you know what? I like my models clean, simple looking, but to the point, elegant, and painted right. So those details did not make it on the car, and some of them were switched out, and some of them were just not put on. So that's what I wanted to go through, what came in the kit, and what did not make it to the kit. So, getting to the car itself. Okay, I'm not going to handle this that much just because the paint is still a little tacky. If you noticed, I don't have the Belvedere and the GTX picked out. Same with the 426 badges and the Pentastar. I haven't quite done that yet. I'm going to wait for the paint to dry a little bit. I got to hold the model and, you know, with the other hand, use a little brush. Also, all the trim I've done on this model, most of it, is done with this pen here, this Molotow kit pen. So this is what I'm using, the liquid chrome. This is what I used for around the windows, the side windows. I painted the door handles first, and then I went over it with the chrome. Around the wheel wells, this was done. This piece here, I actually taped off, masked off, and spray painted that, which was the same chrome paint that I used on the front and rear bumper. The Molotow pen also went around the grill and picked off on the hood. This body on this model was warped. I did straighten it out in some hot water, but it sort of came back slowly. But when the model all came together, it ended up straightening out. If you look at the back of the car, dechromed, went to this charcoal gray first. Then I taped it off and painted this orange stripe. As you can see here, let me just give that a quick little pickup. The orange stripe, the painted stripe that goes between the body molding, and then the bumper got painted after. And then I went around with the pen, painted the inserts where the taillights go, and then put the taillights in. After installing the rear red lenses, I went over them with, to me, a clear red. They were already red, but it just made them look so much better, giving them just a quick little coat of that. So that's what I did there. Interior got some detail. It just minimal detail, basically. Steering wheel paint, the window cranks got painted on the door panels, and the dash got a full detail trim, and that probably took me about 25 minutes to a half hour out of the day, which was today. So the lower marker lenses, I would point out, are probably just clear on the model, although I did go with orange because I wanted them to kind of stick out a little bit. and I wanted these high beam headlights in orange, so I sprayed those with a Tamiya transparent clear from the backside and then installed them. The grille was de-chromed, then painted charcoal gray, and then I picked off all the details with that pen. Getting to the hood, as I said, was the hood scoop from the 1964 Dodge kit from Lindbergh. The piece of hood trim here was glued on and painted with the hood and then picked off with the pen. The reason I do that, that trim is chrome, it's delicate. You go to put it on and it just ends up falling apart. And even when I had this thing on here, I had to add some plastic in here because it actually was so thin, the casting, it cracked, and I had to do a repair, glue some plastic in behind. I made a hole here. In the other video that I'm going to put together, I'm going to show the process of what I did and how I made that hole. Okay, so it's a functioning hood scoop, and I did a little wash on the hood hinges because they would be body color, but they'd have a little detail where the spring is, and that's basically the hood. I think it turned out great. A couple little paint flaws, but you know what? I'm very happy with that. I think it turned out wonderful. As far as the engine goes on this model, it is the 426 Hemi, painted Hemi orange, with the correct crinkle black valve covers and an aluminum intake manifold with 2 4-barrel carburetors. I decided to go with short velocity stacks just because I wanted to fit under the hood and also make the functioning hood scoop worthwhile, as where that big original air cleaner here, yeah, it just didn't really suit the build. And also I didn't want to cover up the beautiful detail of those twin carburetors. I wanted to be able to see that big Hemi. The battery got painted and installed. I had made a battery tray for it, which you will see in the next video. I can actually show you a little clip here. The battery tray that I put in because the battery just glues in and then it's hollow in the bottom and you see it. This way the battery tray, you actually see the paint underneath the battery just like it would be on the real car. So that's what I wanted to do there. It did get the rear view mirror, did not get the outside mirror because, hey, you pick these up, that's the first thing that just gets knocked off. So I just avoided that. I was going to downgrade this just to a Belvedere instead of a GTX, but because of all the GTX trim in the interior and stuff, I just kept it and it was, you know what, I didn't have the time. I did a lot of other modifications like my usual, where it's on steel axles and will roll, and so I hollowed out the rear end, actually put in a tube, which we'll see in the other video, and had to do some heavier modifications in the front end, modify the engine mounts, have the axle go through the engine, and the wheel backs are two-tone. There's a charcoal gray and a black ring to represent the back of the wheel, and the cast iron transmission, 4-speed manual with exhaust system, fuel tank, rear shocks, and of course, if you haven't noticed already, the typical Dodge overspray on the chassis when they get painted. Even though this is an original paint car, being custom, you might have painted the whole thing, but I just wanted to pull that off. Thought it turned out great. Those are a close-up of those Dodge wheels. I did, however, drill a little bit in the back, so because it had a little bump in the middle of the wheel. In the back it's an axle, so it's kind of concave, not so much sticking out, so I did take a drill bit and add that detail there. And what else can I tell you about this model? That's pretty much it. Built it 24 plus a couple hours. If I didn't have to sleep, I would have had it done, but I just couldn't even, I was waiting for paint to dry and there wasn't really much to do anyway, and I just started to get pretty tired by about 4 in the morning, so let's just turn this back on for you. And there you have it. So 1967 Plymouth GTX Hemi by Revell. This is the older release. The box won't even stay up, so I'll just move that out of the way. And if you like these videos, please subscribe. Hit that bell for notifications. and have a great day. Thanks for watching, and keep your eye out for the update on the building of this model. Thank you.